on, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live.
Right now.
Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York,
Brooklyn.
All my people, you rocking with the chat.
Hit that.
That like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the NBK. Born and raised up NBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Knicks family, welcome to the channel. Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, member of the MBK family. This is a Just Nickin' It show, weekly show. I'm your host, Stephanie, aka Queen. I feel like I haven't been here. Well, it has been over a week, but it feels even longer than that. I missed the panel. I miss you guys. I missed the replay gang. I appreciate you guys tuning in every week and supporting the channel. The channel actually had a 2-year anniversary, March 22nd or 23rd, and I totally forgot. So thank you guys. Dope Soul Sports Talk has been on the air for a little over 2 years, and it's because of the work of the panel coming on every week. Again, there's no channel without the panel. I really believe that, and there's no channel without the chat. So I appreciate you guys and all the support I've gotten from the other content creators in this space. We got a lot to talk about today. Julius Randle out for the season. OG Anunoby back in. Burke still looking like I'm not sure what Precious. The clock seems to have struck 12 on him. Bojan is in and out. So we're going to talk about the Knicks ceiling, or what we think the Knicks ceiling is now that we know for sure Julius Randle will not be back for the playoffs. Wiz already in the chat talking about we could still go to the Eastern Conference Finals. We're going to open up the phone lines as well. We'll talk about Jalen Brunson not being considered on any MVP list, even when it goes to 10. He's not, he's not on the list. Is that a Brunson thing? He just has to go through the paces and earn respect. Is that a Knick thing? I'm not sure, but we'll talk about that during the show. We got Ajay, we got Geoff. Yeah, I'm not sure who else is going to drop by. We're going to open up the phone lines. We're going to have a lot of fun. How you guys doing?
Super. Salute to the chat for sharing your Saturday night with us. We really appreciate y'all, and let's chop it up. I'm ready to go.
Always a pleasure to be hanging out with you guys, talking Knicks. Sure. Good, bad, ugly, don't matter. It's always good to be here.
Yeah, I don't even know how many games. So just your thoughts on the Knicks of late. I don't even know how many games it's been since we've last been on the show. But just your thoughts on the Knicks of late. I know I read on Twitter that our first quarters haven't been great. And when our first quarters aren't as great, I think we've lost more of those games than we've won. I'm just kind of getting behind that 8 ball and all of the energy it takes to get back, into a game. So if we know that, I'm sure Thibodeau knows that. I'm sure the team knows that. And hopefully tomorrow against Milwaukee, we have an over 500 record when we lead after one quarter. So hopefully that's the case tomorrow. But your thoughts on the Knicks since we've last been here, Ajay, and then Geoff.
Of course, salute to the chat and hit the like button like right now. The last time we had a show, we had 10 games to go, Queen.
Okay, how many we got now?
5.
So it's been 5 games. Whoa.
It was before the San Antonio game.
Okay.
Because I remember predicting we're going to win that game. Unfortunately, we didn't, but we did. Yeah, in our minds we did, but the refs gave it away. But anyway, listen, Queen, I have, I know it's the right thing to do. We don't blame the refs. That. Well, they part of the game. I'm sorry. They make decision. They didn't been this. They've been deciding not just the Knicks game. You looking across the league. These refs are on something. They're like getting stuff wrong left and right. What was the question? I got.
What's your thoughts on how the Knicks have been playing over the past 5 games?
Well, obviously we haven't been playing well, and our record indicates that. We haven't, there's a few games in there that we're like, all season people have been saying the Knicks, we've been winning the game, we've been beating the teams we're supposed to beat. And me personally, I think there's a lot of teams we're supposed to be beating. Not just the under 500 teams, but a lot of teams that are on our level. In terms of record, there's only a couple of teams that I think are much better than us that we shouldn't be beaten. So, we lost a few games that we really should not have lost. But the play. I mean, I guess throughout the show we'll talk about the different players, but the team has not been. One thing that's been lacking is the defense. People, the defense has not been as aggressive as they have been, and as the referees are allowing them to, because they're allowing people to be more aggressive now. That's like right up our alley, and we're not doing that. We're not taking advantage of that. I think.
Oh, go ahead, finish. I
was going to say, I think once we get back to that, we're going to be fine.
So we were 4-1 since our last show.
1-4.
1-4.
1-4.
Yeah.
1-4, right. We lost to San Antonio, lost to OKC, lost to the Miami Heat, beat Sacramento. We were down big in that game and came back, and then lost to Chicago. Geoff, felt like if Hart wasn't, disqualified, ejected, that we would have probably won that game. I can't say I disagree, but Jay, do you think, and this is for the Knicks fans as well, like when we saying like we're a better team than that, there's teams that we should win. Are we looking at the best version of the Knicks, or are we looking at the Knicks that's actually out on the floor with Bojan with a bench that's inconsistent in scoring, right? Burks is non-existent. Bojan is hit or miss. Mitchell Robinson is just, trying to round into shape. Precious Achua, the clock has, struck 12. He still has good games for us, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't on that. He's no longer on the tier that he was on before. So when we say we should be beating these teams, I think a lot of times we are looking at our team at our best, just looking at the potential talent and not really looking at how we're playing right now around Brunson. I think Brunson, McBride, Hart. Other than that, Hartenstein is, coming into his own, but he's also had some, some games where, he hasn't been great. I just think we're thinking of the best of the Knicks, and I just don't think we're at our best right now, despite Randle and OG being out.
Well, I'm looking at it as what we're able to do, what I've seen that team do. So it's not even our best, because I've seen us play where, in the same game, you have like so many different versions of that team. You within a game, you have that same team come out, play no defense, and then they buckle up, and then put the handcuffs on everybody like the next 3 quarters. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about what we can do in terms of the time, not even at our best. If those guys put, a combination of, some of the guys playing their best ball, some of the guys putting on their best defense, some of the guys bringing the energy, like a little bit of everything. And you don't have to be at your best every night. And you can't, nobody's at their best every night. But if we have, and the same thing for the other team that we're playing against, right? They're not at their best every night. But whoever puts the best combination of your best, your effort, your hustle play, your shooting, like whoever put that best combination on any given night will win the game. Do you know what I'm saying? But we make a lot of mental mistakes. We made a lot of and a lot of times you see that the guys are tired. And listen, I don't want to hear Tips play them too many minutes. Listen, these guys are professional athletes. They're professional basketball players. They're supposed to they're supposed to come ready to play 40 and up. Okay, so
Wow.
they're built for that. I can't. You guys can't, but they can. That's what they do.
Speak for yourself, AJ. No, stop.
Yeah.
Queen ready to go. 4 years plus in overtime. I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, a combination of all that. You want to see the guys put in the effort, And listen, I'm not nervous or anything about the team. There's a lot of moving parts. Mitch is back, but he's not fully back. You could see he's not in sync. You could see it. You could see he's not really up to game shape yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's good that we have 5 games left. Hopefully by the time we get to the playoffs, he's in sync with the rest of them. And there's a lot of moving parts. OG Anunoby just came back yesterday. So it's going to take him a couple of games just to get acclimated, to get in line with what we're doing. These guys, listen, we're good. We're better. Let's say we're a better team than what we've been portraying the last 5 games. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I agree that potentially we are, but guys have to show up and be that. No, that part I do agree with. Geoff?
Well, I think that, my perspective on it, I guess, is this. Just like, let's take last night's game for an example. We had a situation where we're playing the second game of a back-to-back on the road against a Chicago Bulls team that had 3 days to rest and prepare. And yeah, we got off to a slow start. I'll agree with that. But, we were right in that game in the fourth quarter, a player 2 here, a player 2 there. And we could have stolen that game. And that was, again, Josh Hart, first of all, the athleticism to get his foot up at the guy and kick the guy in the face. My word, I didn't realize he was that good an athlete. I don't relate to that with my negative 2-inch vertical, but what a terrific athlete. And I have a problem with that play, because if there was an intent involved, then I could see throwing him out of the game. If you want to give him a flagrant 1 because the guy got kicked in the face, okay. But to throw him out of the game, I mean, get out of here with that, Scott Foster.
Yeah. Shout out to the refs.
But I really think that so even with all of that, the Knicks were right there. And I'm not really sure I wish I could diagnose why the Knicks are struggling so bad in these first quarters of late. I don't know if they're running on fumes and then they just kind of gather themselves later, or it's really a puzzle to me. I'm not sure, but again, I kind of feel like it's the darkness before the dawn in a little bit of a way, because I think what we saw from OG against Chicago was encouraging. It wasn't like the first time he came back. Like, remember that first game back, every other play he was wincing and grabbing his elbow. Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't see him do that one time in the Bulls game. So I'm taking that as a positive sign. I don't really know why it takes Mitchell Robinson 10 games to get back in condition. And I don't understand that. Like OG seemed like he stepped back on the floor and again, I guess he was able to do the cardio and stuff where Robinson couldn't, and Robinson re-sprained his ankle and what have you. But it's a little bit frustrating from my point of view, because I know what Robinson can do when he's healthy and in condition, and we just haven't seen that yet. But I think as long as he doesn't re-injure that ankle, which who knows with the way this season has gone, but if he can, avoid re-injuring that ankle and just give us those solid 15 minutes a night and maybe 18, so we don't have to play Precious the way that he's been lately. I hate to do that, but I have a theory on that too. I think when Mitch was out, Precious kind of knew he was going to get his time. You know what I mean? He knew he was going to get a certain amount of minutes. So I think there was almost less pressure on him. He knew he was going to get his run. If he made a few mistakes or whatever, he knew he was going to be out on the court. And now it's just kind of like Thibodeau's got more options. And if you don't, if he doesn't play well, he gets a short hook or whatever the case may be. And so he just looks like he's playing a little tighter to me. And maybe that's my imagination. I don't know. But, and Hartenstein, like, my least favorite word in the English language right now is tendinopathy. Like, between Mitch, I mean, not Mitch, between
OG.
iHeart and now OG, it's like, I don't, I just want them to be healthy, because Hartenstein has really been a terror defensively when he's able to be. When he's fully healthy, he's been superb, and he makes such a big difference. And really, I mean, the advanced metrics just paint a masterpiece of a picture, really, when he's been out there. And so I really, and we didn't see any of that in the Chicago game. It's really weird to have a situation where, the 5 spot is usually a strength of ours, and here you saw a team in Chicago playing 2 bigs, and without Hart there to help us out. We just had no answers for that lineup. And normally that's, right up our alley when either one of those 2 guys, Hartenstein or Mitch, are kind of on their game. So to me, I see that improving. And look, shout out to Josh Hart. I mean, the triple-double machine. Like, a month and a half ago, this was a guy who people were saying was overpaid. He wasn't worth his contract, this, that, and the other. Look, if this guy could shoot, he'd be a borderline all-star with the way that he's playing now. And I don't think that's hyperbole. Like, he literally does everything else. And I mean, the guy had
a handle too a little bit.
Yeah. But he had a sprained wrist, and he couldn't shoot worth a flip, and he scored 31 because he just played smart. He got in the painted area. It was the release valve for Brunson on those traps, and just went to the bucket and absolutely murdered Sacramento. Absolutely killed them. Just played great. And did he have a few, he's gonna have like 2 or 3 of those head scratching turnovers. But if he's going to have the ball in his hands as much as we're asking him to, you're going to have to live with that, I think. And the positives that he brings are so much more than that. I've really been impressed with what Josh Hart has done, and I think he's been even better than DiVincenzo of late. And I really like what DiVincenzo
has been struggling. Well, he had like 30 the other day, but in terms of consistency, he just hasn't.
I'm not saying that to belittle DiVincenzo. I mean, here's the guy who set the all-time mark for franchise record for threes and then is blowing it away. Like, he had another 5 the other night. I mean, he's just and he's a guy, like, how hard it is to put up 18 threes in a game?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like put up 18 threes, and that's a lot. And he's had to do that quite a bit. I mean, how many games have we seen him have that really high volume of threes and still shoot it at a decent percentage? Has he had some 4 of 16 clunkers? Absolutely. But he, even when he's missing those shots, he creates so much for our offense just because he's willing to take them. Right. And the threat of him and he's, on the season, his percentages are where you have to go out there and respect him and pay attention to him. And that just helps us offensively, even on his nights when he's not making them. So,
it does.
But again, I say all that to just emphasize the point about how good I think Josh Hart has been. Like, that is how good I think he's been.
He's going to need to be super good. As we transition into talking about, the playoffs, and I think we can talk about Mitch, we could talk about OG, we could talk about all the other things I wanted to talk about in the context of where this team is now that it's official that Julius Randle is going to be out. So we can just get, right into it. Just your quick thoughts on Randle being out and what that means for this team.
You, you, you
I'll
want to
start.
you want
Go for it.
I'll start. Listen, anything is possible. This is a team that works extremely hard. They give you everything they got. Brunson is a burner. Like, this guy is, in my opinion, and it took me a while to come to this conclusion. I think Geoff was there sooner than I was, and maybe even Ajay. I really think he can be the best player on a championship team. But even the best players need help. When you think about Giannis, they went out and got Dame. You know what I mean? So even the best players need help. And, you can argue that Brunson and Randle wasn't the best duo as it was. And now we're without him, going into the playoffs. And we'll talk about that more, a little later. But sticking with Randle, I do think it decreases our chances of getting to the Eastern Conference Finals significantly. I know some people think we can still do it, and obviously we can. Anything is possible, yeah. If things break right, we can still do it. But I feel like it's going to be harder, and I think that the chances are significantly diminished. In my opinion, I think a lot of us underestimate what it takes to win in the playoffs, and needing guys who can get a bucket, needing guys who have gravity, guys that the other team has to pay attention to. And we can talk about Randle's failed playoff experience, but the other team still had to pay attention to him. And we see now that we don't have Randle, that they could put extra attention on Brunson. So it's going to be interesting. But I wish him the best. I'm a Randle supporter, so I wish him the best. I'm sad for him, but I got to be honest, I'm sad for us. And I feel like this was a season, this was an opportunity for us, and it's still there. It's still there, but I just felt like that just really derailed the season, for us. But Geoff, just briefly before we get to Ajay, just your thoughts on losing Randle.
Well, I hearken back to what you said, before the season started, and this is really what makes it so frustrating and so heartbreaking, is that I think we all came to kind of the consensus and understanding that none of the regular season stuff mattered with him, right? We all wanted to see what he was going to do healthy in the playoffs. And the one thing we don't get to do is see what would happen when he's healthy in the playoffs. And so from that standpoint, it's super frustrating, and my heart goes out to him. But before that, I want to shout out Julius Randle, because here's a guy, a lot of guys would have just gotten the surgery and called it a day on January 28th. And here's a guy who busted his hump to try and get back. And from the reporting from Chris Haynes, re-injured the thing 5 weeks ago, and then still tried for another 5 weeks to get back to where he could come back and help his guys. Because I think here's a guy who's not had a lot of winning in his time in the NBA, and he saw how good the team was from January 1 to January 27, and he saw the potential, and he knew if there was any way that he could get healthy and get back on the court and ride with his guys, that this could be something that was extraordinarily special, the likes of which this city hasn't seen since 1973.
Right. I want to read that quote too. In an interview with Bleacher Report, Randle said, "I want everyone to know that I did everything in my power to get back this season. That was my intention, to be playing right now. That's why I didn't opt for surgery when it happened. But what caused me to finally go through with getting surgery was about 5 weeks ago. I went through a full contact session and re-injured my shoulder. My ish wasn't stable. I felt like I was in the same state when I first dislocated it, and it's been an uphill battle ever since. Choosing to get surgery was my only option at this point. It's frustrating, but I'm at peace knowing I tried everything. That's to your point, Jeff. Ajay, thoughts on Randall? Um,
I mean, I pretty much agree with both of you guys. You know, it's gonna be it. Queen, you said you started by saying, "Listen, anything's possible," and you're right. It's the NBA, right? I mean, these guys are we know what our guys could do, and by our guys, I mean whoever's on the court now, whoever's on the team right now. We know what that they're capable of, and we don't even know who we're gonna play. And whoever we're gonna play, we don't know what state they're gonna be at. We don't know if they're gonna have their own injury. Listen, anything could happen. Anything can happen. All right, but and you both of you guys are right. Like our chances of advancing in the playoffs without Julius Randle is much less than if we have him. Anybody who would understand that, then I don't know what game you're watching. I don't know what sport you like. Maybe you don't like basketball. That's for sure, or you don't understand the game. Not just us here on the panel, but the coaches, like the great basketball minds in the world, in the country, in the NBA, they're telling you that guy is an all-star. He's one of the top players in the league. If that, yeah, he makes mistakes. Yeah, he's got turnovers. Yeah, he makes, everybody make boneheaded plays. But if you can't, if all of that kid convince you that, this guy, you're much better off being with him than without him. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, you know. But yeah, we definitely it's the road's gonna be a much harder road to travel without Julius Randle.
yeah, and to your point, this team was built around Julius and Brunson. A lot of shooters to create space for them to kick out to. Not a lot of guys on this team that could generate their own offense, right? Can DiVincenzo put the ball on the floor a little bit? Yeah, but it's the intensity of the playoffs is going to be it's going to be a bit more. Can OG put the ball on the floor and create a little bit? Yeah, I mean he can. I've seen it, but doing it a little bit when you're playing off of guys and being tasked with doing it is two different things. And I think a lot of the struggling that we're seeing from players on this team, it could be that they're thrust into roles and the expectations are a little higher than what it would have been if everybody was healthy. Because what would Burks and Bojan have to do? Just stand out on the wing and wait for the ball and just shoot it, you know? And Bojan does that sometimes, but we also see a lot of him driving because he doesn't have the space. So having to drive to create space for the pull up. And it's good that he has that game and he has that capability. But I don't know if that's why we brought him here to get to the basket and, dribble and do the pull up off the glass. But he's pressed into duty, because Randall is out. I want to get to some comments too. JJ, where's the scoring coming from? Playoff time. Yeah. John 17, are we underestimating OG's scoring? And I'll let you guys answer this as well. I don't think I'm underestimating OG's scoring. I just think in the playoffs things slow down, things get tougher. You're playing better teams. They're usually a bit better defensively, and OG doesn't have a history as being a bucket getter, right? He has a history of getting his shots off of others. They drive and kick to him. They, for what however he gets it. He's not the main guy. He's playing off of guys. So can he score? Yeah, he can score. Would I be surprised if he was shut down in the playoffs? I would not. Offensively, I wouldn't be surprised. But your guys' thoughts on OG's potential. John 17, I guess he's saying that even though we don't have Randall, OG's scoring can be a substitute for that.
No, he's not. He's not gonna make up what Julius Randle was. Yeah, he's gonna give you what he gives you. 12, 14, 16 points. But I'm counting on other guys, and we do have the other guys. You realize from the time Julius Randle went out, right? Who came onto the scene and shocked everybody with his scoring? Deuce McBride. I mean, Deuce McBride, he is getting buckets. He's scoring. So and of course Dante DiVincenzo has become like a sniper. He's not consistent, from game to game, but he can do it. We have guys that can score. You know, and I think the team, overall, while Randall's out, they managed to figure out a way to win games, and that will help us in the playoffs because you realize they've been playing without Julius Randle for so many games now. But I mean, now that they know he's not coming back, so it's a different ball game. Now these guys gonna have to step up, not not casually, but like you said, Queen, they have to step into that role. That's not their role. And the good thing is they're capable of it because we've seen him do it. I mean, we've seen DiVincenzo go for 30. We've seen Deuce McBride, score, 22, 25 points, whatever. I mean, they can do it. I understand in the playoff it's a different ball game, but you know what? I'm betting on our guys, man.
You're betting on them to do what? How far do you think the Knicks go
In the playoffs?
in the playoffs?
Uh,
And we'll open up the phone lines in a minute.
Yeah, but that's kind of tough to tell until you know what the brackets are, until you know who you're gonna play. Right now, I mean, I don't know. There's 5 games left. We still could potentially fall into the play-in. I mean, I think that's a better.
So there's a 3 seed too.
Yeah, exactly. We could get to the 3 seed. So I think that's a better conversation. That question to be more accurately answered once we know what bracket we fall in. That
Okay, but even if we fell into even if we were a 3 seed and we played Indiana and then
we don't know who's gonna be
but I'm
6.
just saying, just say it was Indiana in the first round and
Milwaukee
in the second. Because for me, what I'm seeing is those guys have their best players. Those teams, I should say, have their best players. We're already struggling right now to score when Brunson is off the floor. We was joking before we came off the air when Brunson is on the sideline and it looks like he's coming out the game, we go down 4 points. You know what I mean? It's like we have a difficult time scoring when he's off the floor. In the playoffs, they're going to double, do whatever they're going to do to make it difficult for Brunson. Who's that outlet, in your opinion? That consistent outlet? Because, it's DiVincenzo one game and Hart will come up with 31 points the next game. But who's that option with Brunson? Tatum has Brown. Giannis has Dame. Embiid has Maxey. Who does Brunson have? Let me know in the chat. Who does Brunson have rocking with him that we can count on a consistent basis? Geoff?
Alec Burks. Okay. So the Julius Randle news is obviously devastating, but sometimes it's better just to know, right? Because if you know what situation you're going to be in and you know what cards you have, you can kind of game plan how you want to utilize them better. You don't have to guess, like, is Randle going to be back at 50% or 70%? All of that is off the table. So we for sure know that we're going to be without him. We don't know for sure what OG's situation is going to be, but it looks like he's, going to be back starting and ready to go for the playoffs. And I think 5 games, if he doesn't have a setback, is going to be enough time to kind of get Mitch where he can be a decent backup for Hartenstein, assuming Hartenstein is okay, which I don't know if we can guarantee. But I think you can game plan a little better. Look, you diagnosed the problem perfectly. We don't have a second option that's consistent. We just don't. And none of the guys, all of our guys, as Ajay said, are capable in spot duty. Like, they can do it for a game here and a game there, but can you do it consistently when the defense can focus on you to shut you down? Like that's going to be the different part of the playoffs. In the regular season, you're not like, I'll give you the Chicago game, for example. That kid who came off the street torched us for like 25 points because he wasn't on the scouting report. We couldn't even spell his name, much less know he was going to be in the game. And so he surprised us and he was able to do some things. There are not going to be any surprises come the playoffs. Everybody's going to get to game plan for your best players. And so, and especially if you get a team like Orlando, for instance, which is long and can probably play JB straight up and just dare him to beat you, and he'll get his, but if you're not getting a double team or anything, how are those other guys going to find points? And I don't think that we have an easy answer for that.
You bring up, I didn't even think about that. You don't even have to double team Brunson. Give Brunson 40 and stay home on everybody else. Where's the scoring coming from? Because you're right. When you double team Brunson, that may leave a DiVincenzo open. That may leave a McBride open. That may leave a Bojan open. They may decide, no, we're not going to double. We're going to play Brunson straight up. Let him get 40. We're going to guard everybody else. Who do we have that can score against a set defense?
Guys, I hate to say this. There's a couple of teams that had done that this season. Stay home on Brunson, and we lost those games. And Brunson had monster games. I can't remember which one, but there's a couple of games we've talked about those where
was it the 61? I know we lost that game, but I wasn't sure if that was a game they stayed home on him though.
I can't remember. There's one we particularly talked about where I can't remember which. I don't know, but they didn't double him at all. He had a good game. He had a great game. They wasn't the 61 game. If I can remember correctly. But yeah, they didn't double him. He got his points, but nobody else, there was no help.
Best case scenario, what would it take, Shy France, for us to get to the Eastern Conference Finals without Julius Randle? What would it take? What would have to fall into place? Ajay, then Geoff. And the chat, you can also chime in. I'm going to put up the number so you guys can call in. What would need to fall into place for the Knicks to make it to the Eastern Conference? Some people would say, no, what needs to fall in place for the Knicks to make out the first round? But I'm going to say what needs to happen for the Knicks to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
And this is going to sound like one of the Clyde keys to the game, right? Defense got to be stellar. I mean, the defense has got to be on point, okay? The hustle plays, we cannot – those mental errors, we got to fight for every little loose ball. Those 50-50 balls, we got to win those. You know what I'm saying? And you need somebody to be a little bit more consistent. Between Deuce McBride and Dante DiVincenzo, and of course now we got OG Anunoby back. You need, and you don't need OG to give you 25 points, but you need to get that 15 from him. Josh Hart, you need that double from him, minimum 10 points. It can't be you're afraid to shoot. You only shoot the ball like 3 times during the game, and you flying all over the place grabbing a rebound. We need you to try to put the ball towards the basket. And I think we'll be fine if we get those things. Defense, hustle plays. The energy's got to be up at all time, and then somebody else to step in, and that person doesn't have to. It doesn't have to have a 20 points on a DiVincenzo game, but something decent.
I think I agree with your points. I think the defense would have to be stellar. The 48 minutes between Hart and Mitch, like Mitch needs to be. I mean, he doesn't have to be 30 minutes healthy, but can he be 15 minutes healthy? And give us what he usually gives us in 15 minutes. I don't even know if Hart can give us 25, um, at this point. But if we can get 48 minutes from our center position, that definitely helps. If we can get shooting, that definitely helps. Because one thing, even if they play Brunson one-on-one, he's still going to be able to get into the lane, draw the defense, and kick. Can we get enough shooting around Brunson so that when he does do that, they make him pay? So guys are going to have to be on. Like players are going to have to play a bit above their heads. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, in terms of consistency, like Josh Hart, the Josh Hart that we've seen on fire, that would need to be him throughout the playoffs for us to get to the Eastern Conference. Can't just be a few games. He has to be pretty much, I don't know, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. McBride, even though he's young, he's going to need to, step it up. If the Knicks are going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals without Randle, everybody on this team is going to have to contribute. Bojan is going to have to. Like, he played well last night, at least the part. I fell asleep. I fell asleep the last 5 minutes. But the part, what I saw, Bojan was good last night. I was like, wow, or was it Sacramento? Was it last night or Sacramento?
He had his moments last night, but it was more Sacramento, I think, that you're thinking of.
Sacramento. If we get Sacramento Bojan, now we're talking. But you see how many things are going to have to fall in place. And Tibbs is going to have to be a magician with the rotation, right? Because the margins will be slim. So you can't ride somebody that's bricking. You're going to have to take them out. You can't ride somebody who's, turning the ball over. He's going to have to make quick decisions and just rotate, guys out. So can it be done? Yeah. But we're asking guys to play consistent basketball, asking them to play at a high level consistently in order for this team to get to the Eastern Conference Final. Geoff, what do you think? In your opinion, the Knicks what would need to fall in place for the Knicks to make the Eastern Conference Finals?
Well, I think a couple things. First and foremost, I think Miami gave us the template, right? What did Miami do? They defended their rear ends off and they shot well from three. That's how they won the first two. Well, that's how they almost won the championship that way. They made it out of the Eastern Conference because they defended really, really well and they made their perimeter shots, and that's a formula that works really, really well. But I think that the X factor is Isaiah Hartenstein, because I think that if you can get him healthy and you can get 5+ assists, Isaiah Hartenstein, where he can be a ball mover and he can catch the ball at the free throw line and make plays for others and hit that little, floater that he has and do those sorts of things. And I think that opens things up for Josh Hart and OG Anunoby and Dante DiVincenzo. I think that makes a big difference. And the other thing is that I think that we've got to turn our defense into offense. We've got to get Dante and OG getting steals and get the ball up court quickly to Josh Hart and those sorts of folks, and get some easy buckets, transition buckets. So maybe even at least when Mitch isn't in the game, play at a faster pace and get some easy points and now get our guys in a rhythm. And if Deuce wants to be the 20-point a game, 50, 40, 90 guy that he was when he's been a starter, that would help a lot too. I'm not saying he can do that, but that would certainly help. And every time he started, he's kind of put up those kind of performances. So we know he's not scared to shoot. We know. I kind of feel like his 3-point shooting is real. And I kind of, kind of think Deuce might can be an X factor too, but that would be, again, it's what you guys are saying. But I think being able to score points in transition off of our defense, making 3-point shots, and you know, playmaking from the 5 spot from Hartenstein, and really having him be able to play a consistent 30 minutes a game, where you're just kind of plugging in Mitch, you know, in those backup minutes to rest and, you know, kind of, you know, defend. And because I think we can put some lineups out there that can just shut up anybody outside of Boston down. Literally, I think we can put some lineups out there that can just put the clamps on people. But where's the points going to come from in those lineups? Like we saw it the other night, when you have Mitch and OG and Precious together on the floor. Ugh, like what? Like who's going to even shoot, right? You know, and so, you know, I think it's going to take staggering the lineups to kind of make sure you have 2 starters on the floor at all times. I think, so that you have either a Dante or Brunson, or, you know, at least 2 guys you can rely upon. And then we got to get something from these Detroit Pistons. These guys have been playing like a bunch of bums. I mean, and they're both capable. That's what's frustrating. And Bojan especially, I think, because we can put lineups around Bojan to hide him defensively, even in the playoffs. So if he can come in and you know, he was minus 13 in the Sacramento game.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail,
Sorry, we
press
got
2.
No problem.
Hey, JJ.
JJ, my guy, what's up, brother?
What's up, JJ?
What's up, Steph, AJ, Geoff? What's
All right,
going on? How was Miami, Steph? You had a good
Miami was
time?
good. You see my tan? I loved it. I did the cruise.
Nice.
Spent the time in Key West.
Nice.
Went out to the Bahamas. Then back to
There you go.
Miami and to catch the
Beautiful.
Knicks.
The only thing that would have topped it off was the Knicks getting that win, right? What can you do?
Exactly. You're absolutely right.
You know. But yeah, that's good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts overall? And then what do you think the Knicks would need to do? What would need to fall into place for the Knicks to make it to the? I heard you say a miracle in the chat.
A miracle, yeah. I mean, I just think the Randle was practically a death.
Oh, hello?
Hello? JJ.
We lost JJ.
I just want to make sure I didn't do anything over here. I don't think so.
I think he separated his shoulder too.
Yeah, he'll call us back. You're right, Geoff. To your point about the defensive. So when you have the OG and you have Precious and you have Mitch, it's like, oh wow, you know, we're gonna really be able to hold teams down. Okay, you're not gonna stop these offensive teams though. You got to be able to score. So who are you putting with those 2? OG can give you a little something.
Call from. To accept, press 1.
All right, can you hear us?
Oh yeah, my bad. Could you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think something happened. If it happens again, I'll just have to let you guys go, I guess. I was just saying that I think without Randle, I just think we're too heavy reliant on the 3 ball. And I just think that makes it really tough because, you know, 3s are going to come and go. So without Randle, you just don't have that low post scoring, especially when things slow down playoff time. Mm-hmm. You just don't have that guy to get that easy bucket. Right. And I just think when you're living and dying with the 3 ball, it just becomes, it's tough. It makes it difficult because they're going to fall and then they're not going to fall. So I just think the lack of scoring, it's going to be tough, really tough.
Yeah, I agree. Do you your thoughts on Precious? Do you think he could, not Precious, excuse me, OG, he's just coming back from injury. Do you think he could fill in for Randle a little, or that's not really his game?
To be determined. I don't know. Like, can he? I don't know. we haven't really seen that, like that aggressiveness. Can he go from 13, 14 a game to, say, high teens, 18, 19, 20? I don't know. Can he be aggressive? Is he a guy that you can say, all right, give him the ball, go get a bucket? That's still to be determined, I believe. So I don't know. I'm hoping. I think that's the X factor is OG. Can he just be aggressive and be that second consistent scoring option? Because who's our second option? Again, Dante, he's had a really good season, but he's more of like an off-ball. I'm not sure he's a guy you're going to give the ball to and say, go get us a bucket. He's kind of streaky. So it's just a lack of scoring. I just don't know, especially I'm sure in the playoffs, teams are going to double team Brunson. And who else is going to step up? Who's going to step up? There's a lot of question marks. I know a lot of guys have had good moments. Your Deuces, your Dantes, Precious. But, I don't know, Bogey. But can we count on any of them to be consistent playoff time? Still some question marks. It's going to be tough. I really do. I think even the first round could be tough.
Yeah, I agree.
If
you had to pick one, who do you think would be the most consistent in the playoffs besides Brunson?
Oh man, that's the $1 million question. Oh boy, I honestly can't even think of what I hate to say. It sounds like it's such a downer, but I mean, Dante's. It's been a pretty bad playoff performer. Can he turn the switch this year? It's going to have to be Dante and Bogey. Bogey's been hit or miss here, but he's had some good moments. I think OG is the key. I really do. I think OG is the key here. Can he be aggressive? Can he give us 18, 19, 20 games?
Yeah.
Does he have it in him? I think a lot of that will determine, I believe, our ceiling playoff time.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think our chances are if we get Hart, OG, and Bojan stepping up in the playoffs? How far would we go with those three?
All three? I still think second round is our ceiling.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree.
Second round. Yeah, they're gonna have to really, really step up, go from role players to consistent
Yeah.
players.
That's asking a lot.
And,
That's asking a lot.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so I just think the Randle, it's a pretty devastating blow.
Yeah,
it really is.
Like a gut punch,
I give
right?
him credit for trying to come back. Yeah.
Great call, baby.
Yeah, no, you go ahead. My bad, go ahead.
No. I said it was just like a gut punch. That's all.
Right, exactly, yeah. Again, I give him credit for trying to come back. And I know they came out with the story that he re-injured it in practice. So, it's just, I just think playoff time, it's going to be tough with one true consistent scorer. I just think, again, when you're living and dying by the three, right, which is kind of what we are right now. It's not easy to live that way,
Yeah, and the thing about it is, that's what we needed around Brunson and Randle. We needed 3-point shooters because those guys, drew a lot of attention. They got into the lane. Randle would draw a double team, and we didn't have shooters around them. We need shooters around them. Now we have shooters around them, and
on that other score. Right.
Now we need somebody that could create their own basket shot. So
exactly. Frustrating, isn't it?
We can't have nice things over here in Knick Lane.
Exactly. We can't. But it'll be interesting, Let's see who steps up. See who steps up to the plate.
Yeah, one thing we know, they're gonna play 48 minutes. They're not gonna give up.
Oh yeah. Right. Exactly. Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. But that's all I got, man. Thanks so much. You guys have a great rest of the weekend.
Thank you for calling. It's always a good one.
Absolutely.
All right.
Appreciate it. Anytime. Take care, guys.
All right. Bye. Anybody else want to call in and one at a time? We don't have call waiting, right? So you have to wait until the call ends. But anybody else want to call in and give their thoughts on the Knicks playoff ceiling now that Randle is out?
I could have somebody call right now if I want to.
Okay. Or what do you think the Knicks would have to do to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals? What would need to fall into place?
All I have to do is say Deuce sucks.
That's the whiz signal.
Deuce is garbage.
That's the whiz signal. But I also think that what we should look at too is, the Eastern Conference has a lot of good teams, but depending on matchups, the Pacers aren't really battle tested, and neither are the Magic. And so we know we've been through that. Yeah, when you haven't been to the playoffs before, it can be a little bit tough. And even Cleveland, it looks like there's kind of a rift going on between Mitchell and Garland, and you kind of seeing some.
Call from
Wiz EKLA.
Well done, Edger.
Salute, Wiz.
What's up, Wiz?
Wiz, I haven't got a cup of coffee yet, but how are you?
The Wiz signal went up.
How's it going? What you got
for
for
us? You said that, I was dialing while you said that. I was in the midst of dialing while you said that. No, man, I'm going to come looking for you, baby. I'm looking for you, AJ. Wait. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. Hit that AJ button.
That's right, Wiz. Tell him.
Yo, man, I miss you guys, man. I miss you guys. Can't believe you guys took a week out of my life like that. I can't believe it, man. Can't do that to me, man. That's when we needed you like this time with, all the news, the losing. We needed a voice of reason and brilliance. Anyway, salute, Queen. You're always right, Queen. Even when you're wrong, you're about to go correct.
Appreciate you.
So, Geoff, you're my man, Geoff.
Yes, sir.
We'll be looking for you, man. We'll be looking for you, boss. So, no
problem.
Yo, so you may have seen the numbers I dropped in the chat. I don't think anyone has to play way above their head. Just a small step above their head. And we've got this. I'm talking about ECF. So we saw the numbers I dropped in the chat. I was breaking down all we need from each of the players. Where all I need from, Deuce and OG is a 16 to 18 point range. That's all I need from them. I don't need them to go 24, 30 point game.
What's the range?
9 3-pointers. 16 to 18.
Consistently?
I think that's a decent amount. Huh?
Consistently from Deuce and who? Hart?
OG.
So
I need 6. I named 6 players. I can name 5 players, and then the bench is my 6th player.
Mm-hmm.
So I named 5 players, and then the bench. So I said OG, Deuce. I want OG to give me I put 18, but 16, 18 in that range, solid. I'm going to assume Brunson will give me 28. I'm going to assume that. Deuce, again, 16 to 18. One day he's going to drop 22, 24. One day he's going to drop 16 or 14, but stay in that 18 average range. But don't go too low below 18. So
if Deuce averaging 18 points, we going to the finals.
We're winning.
Sign me up, Wiz.
We get the chip.
But continue.
Okay, so iHeart. I think iHeart is a big key here for us. I think iHeart, I need 12 boards from iHeart consistently. And then iHeart got to do a double-double every night. I mean, that should not be hard for him to do. A double-double every night. With about 28 minutes, maybe 30 minutes max. Still to protect him from his Achilles. So it still may feel, it may flare up. But give me the double-double. And again, 12, 14 points. Give me 12 rebounds. Solid. That's solid. Josh, another key. And I think, by the way, my guys who are going to really come out of this playoff, I think OG and Josh are really going to step up their game. I think they just got the mindset. They just look like they're going to eye the tiger. Just watching them. I think I can't call Deuce yet, even though that's my boy, but he's still in my mind a sophomore. Minutes-wise, he's only played one season.
Right.
So he's only played one season minutes-wise. So mentally, I can't put the pressure on him right now. But Hart,
you put the pressure on him. You said 18 points a game. That's pressure.
But I don't think it's a lot for him, because if he's off the ball and they're dropping the ball to him, like they're going to just let, I think he can do it. I think he just needs, all you see is 3 threes, 2 twos, and a couple of foul shots. That's it. I don't think it's a lot to ask of him. Okay. I think it can be done without feeling like it's too much. I think 20 and above is pressure. 16 to 18, I think, is reasonable for him to not panic. I think got to be relied on. I don't think 18 is a lot. I think 16 to 18 is not a lot. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
Again, I'm looking through it through, rose-colored glasses. I'm a homer. But I think that can be done. And then, oh, man. Hart needs a walking triple-double.
You mean Josh Hart?
Any spectrum of, Josh Hart. Walking triple-double. Any spectrum averaging a triple-double means that he could do 12, 10, 8, the average 10, or could do, 8, 10. Rebounds, I want to stay in the high 8 to 10, 12 range rebounds. But points and assists, give me 8 to 12 of those as well. But one day does 12 points, one day does 8 rebounds. 8 assists. Stay in the 10 range on the rebound. One day does 8 points, one day does 12 assists. I think he can do that consistently. I think he's got to eye the tiger. I watched the highlight of when he was playing with Villanova in the finals against North Carolina. And man, that guy, that guy is a bad boy. And then for the bench, I'm just saying, I don't know which one steps up, whether it's Precious, Mitch, Ogie. I don't care which one of them, but I want him to find the guy that fits the situation, and those guys, that guy with the other guys combined, let's say about 20 points and 10 boards. That's it. 20 points, 10 boards. When the numbers that just drop down like that, we're putting up 110 plus every game. And then if our defense stays the way it should be, we should be holding guys on the 108. I'm talking about
under how much?
Should be we said under 108. We're going to average above 110.
108.
So that's all we need. And that means we should be in every game. Right?
This is one of the highest scoring seasons in the entire NBA, in the history of the entire NBA.
Knicks, right, but the Knicks have a kind of team where when their defense is on, they're keeping guys under 100, which means I'm asking them to keep them under 110. They're keeping them 108 on average. Again, they're going to be games. They're going to get a Milwaukee, and I guess obviously maybe a Boston. Even though Orlando or Indiana, they drop 118, 109, or 2. But on average, we can knock some guys around and keep them off their game and keep them averaging 108. I just think that is not an unrealistic potential from a defensive point of view. That's my perspective. Mm-hmm. Now, the numbers that dropped, we could actually average 118 or more, which means we can let the other team put up 112 or more average. Mm-hmm. But I think it's the plus minus for us. We should net positive 3 to 5 points every game that potentially is there. So I'm very optimistic about ECF, even without Randle.
Would you be disappointed if they didn't make it?
Only if we get knocked out second round by a blowout. So the worst, this point is only if we get to the second round and we go 6 hard fought or 7 hard fought games, I'd be okay with that. Anything less than that, disappointment, that's it, yes.
Okay, all right.
He got some high hopes.
I mean, everybody you're talking about is going to have to play at that level. And if they don't, we very well could be looking at a second round, if not a first round exit, if they don't play at that level.
I definitely I understand, but I just see something about this team. I mean, I know last time was not a true indicator, but the game before I saw something there that I go, there is a NCAA type, final, final 4-16 mindset like NC State was, where they just seem to go on a run and their minds just get together and they just on the same rhythm. And guys just go, do your part, do your part, do your part. And I see that potential in these guys where they can stay focused. I'm going to give Tim a lot of responsibility to find the guy who's got an iron target at night. And I got to depend on the reps, not robbing us on the two things.
Good luck with that.
Derail this. Exactly. But and also, I do need one guy. I need Tim to come into the game once in a while and just take a flagrant foul. I need Tim to come in the game and take he's a kind of soldier you gotta say, go get him. And just let him come in the game and smash Bam or somebody over the head and just go, oops, my bad. The Josh Hart, roundhouse kick was a little bit too obvious. It wasn't intentional, I don't think. But he didn't control it either. He could have controlled the leg. So that's why I'm not too mad, but I'm mad at that move. But I think we need to get Sims to come in there and instead of hard moving pick, if we have to make a moving pick, and put somebody on their gluteus maximus, and then walk off the floor and be like, okay, I'll be in the shower, and relax for a game. I think that has to happen at least once for us to get our mojo on show that we're from New York. We can't play soft, man. This is New York. So that's my take, baby.
All right. Well, we yep.
Don't leave us for a week and a half anymore, man. I know you're high rolling, you're in the yacht with probably Magic Johnson and those guys going to, Italy and stuff. But man, a week without this info, this knowledge, this skill.
Not Diddy though.
Cold turkey, baby.
Yeah. I appreciate the support. Listen, March 22nd or March 23rd, the channel made 2 years. So I appreciate your support. Time is going fast. I appreciate the support.
I remember when I first signed up, when you went live, I go, damn, let me jump aboard. Let me get some people to subscribe. That's why you hit 1,000. Go, let's get to 1,000. I think.
Appreciate you.
I was right in the Sound Television. Also, last thing I want to say, before we go, I mean, I apologize for, dominating the conversation. I know guys are calling in right now. Oh, man. And then, of course, my old age just said it. I just drew a blank what I was going to say. So, there I go. But I'm going to say, there I go. I'm going to do that for Jeff, a little singing, a little harmonizing for you, Jeff.
I couldn't carry a tune in a paper bag.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Wiz.
Oh, by the way, 2,000 subscribers. Let's get there in the next 10 days.
Yes, let's get to 2,000 subscribers. That's right.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, peace and love, people.
Thanks, Wiz.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, other than Deuce, I think everybody else was somewhat realistic from what he said. What's your thoughts on the call?
Well, if we score 110 a game, he's right. We'll go to the Eastern Conference Finals. I honestly believe that. We're getting that kind of offensive production. I think that's a realistic thing. I just don't see all of those. That is the sky aligning perfectly, though, if you think about what he said. Yeah. And that's what it would take. But I don't know. I don't see it happening, but it would be. I don't mean to be negative, Nancy, but I think we're going to struggle to get out of the first round. I really do. I just.
What have we been averaging? Like, I'm saying 110 is not even a lot. What have we been averaging of
I don't even know.
Let me see. I think I do have their my mouse is giving me problems here.
Queen, while you're looking for this, let me answer
Yes.
TA Cowboys.
Yep.
Let me show this real quick. And salute to you. I don't know if you're new here, remember to subscribe to the channel. I don't know if TA's been around. Or am I saying this right, or is it Ta?
It might
Cowboys. But and listen, everybody get hurt. Like players break a leg 2 days before the game, and 2 days later they play the Knicks. They play that one game. You realize SGA only played the Knicks game, like he didn't play the games before or the games after.
Yeah.
He only
one
came in
game
for
in his
this
last
game.
8. You're right.
Yeah. So
Yep.
so shout out to you for pointing that out.
Yeah. So this is the Knicks scoring over this 1-4. We scored 126 against San Antonio, but we gave up 130. Salute. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button. We're usually every Thursday, but the Knicks have been playing on Thursday, so we moved to Friday. Now the Knicks are playing Thursday and Friday. So we just trying to get in where we fit in, just moving the show around. But we appreciate you joining us. Tie Cowboys. Tie Cowboys. I hope we got that right. Oklahoma City 113, Miami 99. Sacramento 109 and Chicago 100. It just got pretty much progressively.
So that's 3 games right around 100 and 2 games way above. But again, if we're scoring 110, I like our chances in any game.
But look at our defense though. Like, what are we at? Like, we gave up 130 to San Antonio, 112 to OKC, 109 to Miami, 120 to Sacramento, 108 to Chicago. So when we're talking about our defense having to step up, we're talking about our defense having to step all the way up. If we're scoring 110 points.
Yeah, but context matters too. OG just got back in the Chicago game, and we didn't have Josh Hart for 3/4 of that game. I think those two are definitely keys to our defense. And I also think that in the Chicago game, especially, we didn't see any of our fives come with the requisite effort that we're used to. And I don't know if that was a second game of a back-to-back thing or what. But guess what? In the playoffs, there are no second game of a back-to-back, so you get to rest up and be ready to go. So from that standpoint, I think our defense will be much better. And our defense in the playoffs last year was stellar. And I think we have better pieces this year. And the way they're calling games now since March, I think that's going to drive the scoring down too.
I hope you're right, Geoff.
So Queen, you got it right. Take Cowboys.
Hey,
we're glad you're with us, Tay. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Board. Hey.
Yeah, definitely.
Good comment.
I'm gonna put the phone number up again if anybody wants to call in, including Tay, and just talk about where you think the Knicks ceiling is now that it's confirmed that Randle is not returning, and what do you think the Knicks need to do to get to the Eastern Conference Finals or even out the first round? The thing about it, to Adjay's earlier point, it's topsy-turvy in terms of who can finish where. The Knicks can finish anywhere from 2 to 7, but other teams as well. I don't know if there's anybody else that can go up as far as 2, but it's just not settled. Anybody can be playing anybody else in that first round.
From 2, 2 is open.
2 is open.
I think only Boston is set right now. Everybody else is scrambling right now.
Okay.
And you don't want to play Boston in the first round.
Yeah.
Obviously that would mean we fell to the play-in, which is bad enough, but
Yeah, I don't know if we can we. I don't think we could fall that far.
We could.
We're only 2 games out of 7.
I mean, you fall to 7, you have to win that first game to get up to the 7 spot. If you lose, then you got to win the next game to get the 8th spot. So
get the 8th spot, yeah, with 3
so
games.
if you fall to the play-in, 7 or 8 is
yeah.
depending on how you play.
Yeah, true.
And if you lose both, you're out completely, which would be.
We've lost 4 out of the last 5 games. That's not helping us at all. And then our next 5 is Milwaukee. Giannis's game time decision. He'll play.
Yeah, he'll play. Yeah.
We have Chicago. We have Boston. Now, Boston has nothing to play for, so they may sit guys.
They're not sitting guys
they
against
won't.
us. I
They
promise you. They'll sit guys against other people, but we're going to get the full Celtic treatment. They're not. They'll rest players in other games, but they're not going to do that against the Knicks. There's no way. Because they're interested in us, falling as far as we can, because we can be dangerous when healthy. So they're going to do everything in their power.
Call from
Pam.
Yeah.
Press 1.
Here we go.
Hey, Pam.
What's going on, Pam?
We good. We
Pam.
good. What you got
Yes,
for
no.
us?
What's going on? How are thou?
We good.
We're good. We're good.
We good. We're glad to hear from you. What you think?
Oh, man. Y'all have these hours that y'all do is crazy because I'm a morning person. I get up and for the past week, I was like, I looked at it a couple of times. I said hello, and I was asleep. But I don't know. We have a chance. I'm glad that we got OG back. I'm very happy about that. And hopefully, he's in for the long haul and not, thinking about his elbow.
Right.
Tendinitis is that arthritis stuff, it flares up whenever it chooses to.
Right.
So he's going to have to push through it a little bit, They saying ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just going to hurt. But we in the playoffs now, so you got to come prepared, son.
That's not his history,
That's
though.
all.
From what we hear, that's not his history of pushing through pain. So let's see.
I know. Hopefully we can turn the page on that one. And now that he's in New York, everybody else might, shove him, give him a nudge. Come on, you can do it. Come on. It don't hurt that bad. I said, because if you lose, what? You're gonna be home. What you gonna do?
Right.
The same thing.
Right.
But I think if we just, now that we know that Randle's not coming back and you're not looking for any other help. We already got Mitch back.
Right.
So now we just gonna have to go with the flow. Tibio's gonna have to figure out who works well with the other, and he's gonna have to switch up whoever we playing, to see what start small, start big, depending on who we playing. I think that we can do it.
What's the Knicks ceiling in the playoffs? How far do you think the Knicks are going?
Depending on matchup. It's they can go to the Eastern Conference, or they can get knocked down in the first round. But it depends on the matchup and how the referees are calling the game from now on. Because if they keep doing the Brunson is looking for fouls dilemma, and not Brunson is an all-star and he needs that foul.
But you're right. That's
anything,
the narrative. That is the narrative. I was watching a show with, what's his name? He used to, did he commentate for the Miami Heat? But anyway, he was on a panel, and that's the narrative, that Brunson is looking for fouls. And you're absolutely right. Instead of Brunson is an all-star and he should be getting those calls.
What's wrong with looking for fouls? Everybody else does it. Everybody else do it. Why you?
It's true. Everybody does do it. And as a referee, you're not supposed to, it can be in the back of your mind that he's looking for a foul. But if he gets hit, you have to call it. You know what I'm saying? And they're looking at his jerk motion as not being fouled, but they're not looking all the way through that play. Right. To me, that's what it is. I'm like, okay, but I think in the playoffs, they might go back to what they were doing in the beginning of the season and not do that. Because they want them to play, you know?
Right.
But he's an all-star. So I'm hoping too. Because, you know, he was fouled. As Tador would say, he was fouled. But
yeah. Not only is he
you got to stop complaining about it.
He's about to be all NBA.
Right.
Just not
everybody
top 10.
Else you can call. Right. Because even if you saw what is it, Stackton, the point guard from not the Bulls, Sacramento, he did the same move. Mm-hmm. Not Fox. The the what's his name? Stackton. The other day that we played. Who did we ever play? We played
Miami. We played Rozier in Miami.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in OKC.
No, it was Stackton. It was because the game that he played, he did the same move that Brunson did, and they gave him a call. And Brunson went back on the other end, and he did the same play. He didn't get the call. I was like, yo, come on, yo.
Yeah.
So let's hope that they call the game like they're supposed to call it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And give the stars they credit.
Right. Right.
But everybody else should be prepared. I mean, their mindset has to be now. Nobody's coming to save them, and they have to start playing the way they were playing in the beginning. And I'm hoping that these 5 games that OG is going to get comfortable with his elbow, and everybody else is going to be, since they're not going to be playing as crazy minutes as they would have, because they got Mitch back, and let him absorb some of Hart's minutes, and Precious absorb some of Josh's minutes. Because if we're fighting, everybody is in the same line. All we need to do is win a couple of more games, and I think we are set for what is it, 4?
We're in.
I think we're set for 4.
Yeah, we're 4th now.
We're in 5 now.
We're in 5? Okay.
Yeah, we're in 5. But I think a couple of more. We're like a game behind everybody that's in top of us, and
a game ahead of everybody behind us.
Right. We're a game ahead of everybody behind us, and
yeah, it's tight.
So it's like it's tight. Hopefully, now that we got OG, and hopefully Josh won't kick nobody else and get kicked out of the game.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Like, oh, yeah.
He should have done that to Jaime Hawkins Jr. He was going to kick somebody. He or Bam would have been the choice. He picked the wrong game. He should have done that.
Right.
Boy, Bam or Jaime for hurting Julius Randle. A little payback.
Right. Anyway, Pam, we appreciate you. Thanks for calling.
Thanks for calling.
Always
Pam.
a pleasure.
All right.
You're welcome on the show anytime. All right.
I will. Okay. When I'm well rested. I'll holler.
All righty. Yeah. Let's talk about Brunson and and the MVP. Did we talk? We didn't talk about that. We talked about that behind. I get confused what we talked about behind stage. And so this is the NBA.com's top 10 in NBA voting. The Jokic, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Booker, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, and Kawhi Leonard. Who do you think Brunson? Who would you take off this list to put Brunson on?
Starting with Sabonis. Starting with Sabonis.
So you're saying there's more than one person?
There is for me.
Anything from Sabonis on down.
Sabonis. So you're saying Sabonis, Booker, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, and Kawhi.
Not Anthony Edwards though. Anthony Edwards, he needs to be higher on that list, man. Like, what are they voting? What are they? I don't know what the criteria is. I don't know.
The top five is legit. You don't think?
No, the top five.
Jokic, Luka.
That's why I said anything after that, because
Okay.
that top five is legit. But Anthony Edwards cannot be, what is it, number 9? Like,
he's 9.
Yeah, I don't know what criteria they're following. I don't know what they're looking at.
Maybe statistics. I mean, Sabonis. I think he broke the NBA record for double doubles. Was it the entire record or since a certain period of time?
I don't know. I didn't hear.
Yeah, double doubles.
Oh.
So do you think it's Brunson himself that, listen, he's relatively new on the scene. They have to see more. He's just been an all-star one time. He's never been all-NBA. Do you think that's part of it? Or do you think it's just people just are not in the media, I should say, not warming up to the Knicks?
Not warming up. Why do you put it like that? They hate the Knicks. What do you mean they're not warming up? They cannot stand the Knicks. I'm convinced of that. That's why I don't watch all the BSPN nonsense or the other whatever. So if something pops up on the YouTube,
Shout out to Ron.
I know, right? Yeah, that's right. If something pop up on a YouTube short, that's the only way you see me watch ESPN. Or if I'm forced to watch ESPN because the game is only on ESPN. But otherwise, man, it's straight garbage, man.
Anna Grill once said, "Is Sabonis even the best player on his team?"
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox is really good too, though. AJ, I think that's a legit question by Anna.
No, it is. It absolutely is. I don't know if isn't De'Aaron Fox better than Sabonis, or isn't he more valuable to that team than Sabonis?
I think it's neck and neck.
I think it's 1A and 1B, but hey, the point is that he's had Fox the whole year. Brunson is missing his 1B the whole time. I mean, at Booker, for pity's sake, Booker has, MVPs. He gets to play with Durant, and occasionally he gets to play with old injured out of Washington. Can't remember his
Bradley
name.
Beal.
Beal, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect to Edwards, but I think that even Edwards has had, gotten to have more on his, team than Brunson has. And Kawhi is great. I'm not saying he's not, but I don't know that Kawhi has been more impactful than Brunson has. Kawhi gets to play with Paul George.
Whatever.
And I think Brunson deserves it over Tatum.
Wow. They're in first place now.
And he's in first place, but they look at that roster.
Yeah, I get it. Oh, wait, hold up. Public service announcement. We have 128 in the chat, and we have 43 likes.
Rachel Robinson foul shooting percentages right now. Get it up, guys.
Right. Hit that like button. It definitely helps the channel, and it's free. That's a way to support the channel. That's free. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Somebody said they would take Brunson over Kawhi on the list.
And can I just say something about this whole foul hunting narrative? The numbers just don't support that at all. If you look at the number of free throws he's taken based on the number of shots that he takes in the paint, it's not even close to anybody else. I think that Jimmy Butler has taken as many free throws as Brunson has in a lot fewer games and a lot fewer paint shot attempts. So So that whole, and the other thing about the hunting fouls business that I don't understand is that it's not like he's Trae Young or James Harden who's just looking for a trip to the line. When he goes in the paint, he takes the contact, but he's looking to make the shot. Like, he's a terrific, he's not just in there just throwing it up wild. He's going in there because he's got his bag, he's got his footwork, he knows exactly what he's doing, and he wants to finish the play in there. He's not going in there saying, well, maybe I'll get to the free throw line. He knows he's not getting to the free throw line.
You're right about that.
Jimmy Butler looks for a foul. He does that a lot, but they don't see that. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he should definitely be up. Now, I don't think he's going to get it, but he's not even top 10 in the MVP voting. Anyway.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so disrespectful in my opinion. He is like, what more does he have to do? I mean, he's literally like, his usage is like 40% over the last 3 months, and he's like dragging this team across the finish line practically single-handedly, and like nobody else is carrying the burden that he is, and he's still efficient, and he's half the people they have on this list, he's outscoring them in terms of points per game, and so like what else does he need to do? That's what I like what that's what I don't understand. Like what criteria other than be 6'4" or taller does he have to, what bar does he have to cross to be in contention? I mean, to me, it's just hate. That's the only thing I can.
He's fourth in scoring. He's fourth in scoring in the entire NBA. Little old Brunson. Remember little old Brunson?
Yeah. And Queen, that's more reason for him to be on there, because he's small.
Yeah.
As Clyde would say, the diminutive guard. he's small out there, and somehow he still matters. So it requires more effort, more skills, more smarts for him to do that.
Right.
Like, he absolutely belongs. He belongs on that. But whatever.
Ask Mike Brown if he belongs on that list. Brown didn't know what to do with them. He was blitzing them
the first time.
Yeah. And they tried something else, and that didn't work either. And even Spoelstra doesn't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, personally, other than for his sake, like, I think I want him to get the recognition because he deserves it. But like, y'all do your thing, whatever. Just, like, he's dominated Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs the last 2 seasons, and they don't want to talk about that either. But, and Mitchell's not on their list either. And I don't know if that's just because he hasn't, competed in enough games. But I think if he has, I think Mitchell deserves to be above some of the guys they have on the list too. And I think Brunson's a better player than Donovan Mitchell.
Can I ask a question? Who comes up with that list, though? Is that the
This one was NBA.com, but there are other lists as well. And I haven't seen Brunson on any of them.
Is this one of those lists where they have Candace Parker picking, like, voting and stuff? Because she don't know nothing.
I don't know.
She don't watch the NBA.
Let me see who. I don't think.
That's the problem. They have the wrong people voting. They have the wrong people looking at these things. People who don't watch the games.
But this is just the ladder, though. So I think it's probably whoever wrote the article. Let me see.
I think their ladder is broken. I think somebody sawed some of the rungs off of that thing.
Michael C. Wright.
Yeah.
He is the
Michael C. Wrong.
Wrong, exactly.
Michael can't
see.
Oh boy. Yeah, he's And I have to say, he said, and 5 more listed alphabetically. So he didn't rank these. Brunson, Durant, Rudy Gobert, Halliburton, and Zion. This Halliburton. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So
I wish that Brunson got the love that Hallie does. Cali hadn't done half what Brunson has done, and they all up on him. They,
No, it's not that they love him. It's they just don't want to love the Knicks. They just don't want to. They just want to hate on the Knicks. So they're just looking at everything else but the Knicks. Whatever.
Oh, that's who it was. Windhurst. Thank you, Shot France. It was Windhurst. And then there was someone else was saying, I don't think Brunson is hunting for fouls like Trey Young or somebody, and he came back and doubled down. Yeah, he used to be associated with Miami.
he and LeBron are buddies. I know that. He was one of the ones when the decision happened. Windhorst was one of the guys. I think he and LeBron have a relationship back from their Cleveland days, and then when he went to Miami, he kind of became the in reporter with the Heat while LeBron was there.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, I just remember a little bit.
They
Anything
used to call him
else?
Brian Windbag.
Yeah, Ryan Break Wind. Effort.
Anything? So that's all I have. Is there anything you guys want to?
Well, shout out to the chat, man. Yo, hit the like button. Let me see, Queen, where they at right now, man, with the likes, man.
Let's see. I'll tell you
Oh,
right
God.
now. We are at 49. Just 5 more. We have 129 listening. Hit the chat. Hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so.
Oh, wait. You have a poll. You have a poll tonight.
Oh, yes, the poll.
You didn't mention the poll.
All right, let's see. We have 92 votes on the poll. All right, I'm going to end it right
A
now.
lot of people answered the poll. More people hit the poll than the like button.
All right. Where will the Knicks finish in the playoffs without Randle? 41% said the second round. 25% said the first round. 25% said the Eastern Conference Finals. And 8% said the NBA Finals. Wow. I'm going to say the second round myself.
Yeah, I voted second round. Let's see. It depends on matchup, but obviously as you get further into the playoffs, the competition's getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
So yeah. If the guys who we know are here are healthy, and by that I mean Hartenstein, OG, and Mitch, if they're good to go, I think this is a second round team. If we're talking about any of those three kind of shuffling in and out of the lineup, then I think we're in danger of going out in the first round. But if we get good performances from those three guys, I think that we'll survive a first round series. So
I agree. But I also think Hart can be a swing factor too. He's the one person other than Brunson that I have no doubts about him showing up. But part of it is that his game translates easier to the playoffs, right? He's not a shooter. He's a hustle guy, high energy guy. And those things do tend to translate in the playoffs.
The only thing I'll say about Hart that worries me, and it's not really a worry, it's just, if you notice in that Miami game, Miami kind of knows how to, I don't want to say neutralize Hart, but he's not the same player in that game than he has been in any other game lately.
That's because, sorry, Queen, that's because Miami have the same kind of players. So kind of, you're right, it neutralizes they make up for what he does on the other end because they play the same scrappy type of game.
We could be playing Miami in the first round. That's the reason I bring it up. I mean, if you're, and Mitch and Hart have struggled against the Heat too. So Bam is a bad matchup for both of them. So that's the boogeyman, I guess. But without Julius, I don't want to see Miami in the first round.
Yeah, I have no interest in seeing.
Without Julius, that would be hurt if we play Miami in the first round.
But you know what? I thought Josh Hart, though, he just didn't seem aggressive in that Miami game. And we talked about it. Ajay wouldn't allow me to stay on vacation, so he called me down in Miami.
Well, he warned you he was going to do that, though.
I called him. I didn't think he was aggressive enough. And Ajay made the point was that he didn't have those lanes that he would usually have because they were packing in the key. I just felt like he wasn't looking for his shot. He wasn't looking, in transition to
he did hurt his wrist in that game though. And so even in the game after that, you notice he didn't take any jumpers like at all in that 31-point performance. So I'm kind of wondering if that kind of, he didn't really know what was going on with it yet. And so I'm wondering if that maybe, I don't want to ascribe excuses or whatever, but I think that was definitely a factor. So, but
yeah, he has to bring what he brings in the playoffs. Like we have to have some floor.
We need triple-double Josh to show up on the regular.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about 30-point triple-double Josh. Even if it's 10, 10, and 10, that's, as Wiz was saying, that's fine. I mean, it's funny with the triple-doubles, it seems like the points is the toughest thing for Josh Hart to get. Like 10 assists, we're like, yeah, he can do that. 10 rebounds, he can do that.
Mm-hmm.
10 points, well.
I wanted to let me see if I could do this right. A tab. Let me see if I could do this right. Probably not. Ajay, did you see what I put in the chat today about Miami?
No.
Oh. Let me see. I don't know. I'm gonna try to share the screen and see if it comes out. I don't think so. Yeah, let me know if y'all can see it. It's probably too small. But anyway, this was the meme, the Miami Heat practicing for tonight's game.
That's great. That's funny.
That is funny.
That is funny,
That's
right?
great. So true, though.
Yeah, that was funny. All right. Let me see how to stop sharing. My mouse is not.
All I know is if we're in the playoffs against Miami, I want the same official that called the last minute of that Iowa-UConn game because they know what an illegal screen looks like, and Bam would be fouled out in 4 minutes.
Oh, my God. That's all he does. Jeff, he never sets a good screen. Never. But he doesn't call for them.
Yeah.
That's what I said. They'd call it on him with that officiating crew. They know about those illegal screens.
There was another one I thought I put in here where they showed all of Bam's plays where the Knicks got injured. It was like a minute and 30 seconds.
Oh, this is an hour video? Is this 30 for 30?
It's like a full documentary on that one.
Oh, man. But that's all I got. You guys have any questions before we get out? If the chat has any questions?
When's the next show? So the next show, I guess, because this coming week, next week we're playing Friday. And
it's either going to be Wednesday or Saturday.
Okay. When
because the Knicks play Thursday and Friday.
When do you have the all women panel? Wednesday?
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it.
You doing Queen's Court on Monday though?
I'm doing Queen's Court on Monday.
Regular time, right?
Regular time, 8:30.
Do we even play? We don't play Monday, so
right. I'll see if they can do it on Wednesday. Then I'll do the women's show on Wednesday, and then we will do Saturday if we can, depending on who's available. If they can't, then we'll do Wednesday. I know Geoff, Wednesdays is not a day you could do.
Yeah, it's tough for me, but I can probably come late if you when I get home from church, I could probably hop on. I mean, I might get dismissed like 30 minutes or so. I don't know, depending on what time.
Right. And I just wanted to shout out Staffer, who's under the weather, to say the least. Just sending love and prayers to him. I spoke to him about 2 days ago. I texted him today. He's a big part of the channel, a big part of what we do. He supported me from the very beginning when I had no idea when I asked people to come on the show that they would be regulars, right? When I asked Jerrell to come on the show, I had no idea it would be every week. The same thing with Stafford, same thing with Ajay, same thing with Geoff. I've just been blessed, and Tsunami as well when she was here. But Stafford, even when he's working and he can't be on the show, he's behind the scene, dropping things in the chat, keeping us updated on what's going on with the Knicks. Just a really, really good guy. So, just keep him in your prayers, keep him in your thoughts, because he's a bit sick right now. And he's
a big part of what we do. He's
a big part.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Love you, Stafford. So my guy.
Y'all don't see it, but Stafford Don reads everything.
He does.
Like everything Knick related. I don't know how he does it, but I think he's got like something on his phone where if there's anything that says Knicks anywhere, it just pops up, and he always shares it in the chat. And a lot of our ideas that you see us end up talking about is stuff that Stafford comes up with. So big shout out to him. He's even if he's not on the panel, he's always a big part of what we do. And he's always known to pop in for an hour and a half phone call when we need to.
and also watch what you say, because he has a database of all receipts of what everybody says, and he can find them in
you gotta have a receipt guy, Ajay. You gotta have a receipt guy, and he's ours. So
he is a little spicy. He is a little spicy. We have a chat on Twitter, and we're all in there. And make sure whatever you put in the chat, make sure it's the right thing, and don't say anything about Mitch. Don't say anything about Mitch Robinson. Mitch don't look good. What you expect? He's just coming back. We just say he doesn't look good. That all right, but feel better, Stafford. Feel better.
Amen.
Shout out to Jerrell too, who's normally here with us.
Shout out to Jerrell too. I didn't even hear from him today, so hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's okay as well.
He's probably doing NFL draft prep. You know him.
Yeah. For sure. And then also it's a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boss got him doing something, I bet.
Right. Exactly. So we'll be back either Wednesday or Saturday. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so you'll be notified when we do go live. And just support all the channels, particularly MBK, Nothing But Knicks, 2 Knicks Chicks, Eru, Die Hard Knicks podcast. Hopefully Scott never rested.
You know I had to highlight that one.
Amen, brother.
Not just him, Tony Brothers. Get Tony Brothers out of the league. Like he can't ref no more. He can't call the game.
Who was that Joker who Jason Goebel or whatever? We don't want him either. We got a long
that
list.
guy, yeah. No, just those 3 guys.
Just
Hayward Workman back in the day used to play for the Pacers.
Is he not in the league anymore?
I haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him.
I don't miss him. I know that.
Wow, he may be out. He may be out the league.
Yeah, like
similar to what happened to players. You'd be like, "Did you? Is so and so still in the league right now?" All right, we up to 60. Oh man, I know this Julius Randle news and got people bummed out. Can't get a like.
It's because Ajay said the deuce sucks. That's the problem.
Let's get this win tomorrow to restore the vibes. Yeah, I'm with you.
Man, that's exactly right, John 17.
Yeah. Any last words before we out of here? So we play. Let's just quickly go over who we play before we meet here. The
Yeah,
whole
Oscar
schedule.
Robertson and Kareem will be available for the Milwaukee Bucks game.
Right. I did want to give a shout out to Dick Barnett.
Oh yeah,
Who, you know,
Nick
two-time
Legend.
NBA champion with the New York Knicks. Got voted into the Hall of Fame. Shout out to him. Also, 3-time NAIW. Let me see. I have it here. College championship as well out of Tennessee State, I want to say. Let's see. NAIA National Championship in 1957, 1958, and 1959. 3 years in a row, and was a 3-time All-American. 2 championships with the Knicks. So shout out to him, and hopefully he'll make it to the ceremony. I mean, he's kind of up there, you know. The ceremony is in August, and hopefully,
Isn't it Dr. Dick Barnett, or am I mistaken on that?
Dr. Dick Barnett. You're absolutely right.
And he's the 9th Hall of Famer from that championship team, I think. That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Imagine having 9 Hall of Famers on one team.
Yeah.
We think we've got a bench.
Right. And hopefully, you know, in his lifetime and in Clyde Frazier's lifetime, the Knicks get another championship.
Yeah, hopefully in my lifetime. I'm sorry for that. I don't know.
In my lifetime, yeah. In my lifetime as well. I wanted to go over just really quick before we get out of here. So we actually have, if we're gonna do the show Saturday, we actually have 4 games: Milwaukee, Chicago, Boston, and Brooklyn. Those are the 4 games. And I would like to see the Knicks go 3-1.
So would I. If
3-1. Do not lose to Chicago again. Do not lose to Brooklyn. I don't care if we might be due for a loss because we beat them every other time this season.
Too much on the line. We got to win that game. You got to get that one.
Correct. And
I want this Milwaukee game, to be honest with you. I want tomorrow's Milwaukee game, and I want it bad. Every time we played them this year, it feels like they've shot like 60% from 3. I want to give them the business tomorrow.
Yeah. And there's something else I wanted to say. They've lost 3 straight, so they're going to be hungry. 3 straight to teams that's not that great.
Yeah, but Kareem's going to play, and Oscar Robertson's going to play, and, you know.
They're going to bring out the stops for the Knicks.
Yeah.
Giannis is going to be healthy. He didn't play the last game. Dame is back. They'll be at full strength.
So our bigs better be ready, because Lopez is a problem. Giannis is a problem. Portis is a problem.
I'm confident. I'm confident we avoid the play.
We're not going to be in the play-in.
Our magic
number 1-4 over the past 5. So,
our magic number for the play-in is 3. So that means that any combination of Knick wins and Heat losses that adds up to 3 clinches it for us. I think because remember we have the tiebreaker with both Philadelphia and Miami, so we just have to finish with the same record as them,
right?
In order to finish ahead of them. So is it possible that we fall? Yes, it's possible, but
not likely.
Things are really going wrong if that's what happens.
Yeah. Well, we're 1-4. Yeah, I'm with you, shot friends. I mean, some of it has to do with the other teams were losing as well, and that helped us, stay in the 4th, 5th place. But a big part of it is just the team we are, the coach we have, and how hard we play, and having Brunson.
We got to get out to some faster starts, though. Seems like during this bad stretch, it's because the first quarter has killed us, and I don't know why it's killed us, but it just even in the game we won. Yeah, but that don't mean nothing for Sunday, JJ. They've lost 3 in a row. We gonna get their best swing, you know that.
Oh, yep.
But they lost to Washington, Memphis, and Toronto.
And Toronto had lost 15 straight.
Right.
Like they weren't even trying to win.
Right.
Because they want to keep that draft pick.
I mean, maybe I don't know anything about I don't know anything about Milwaukee in terms of their toughness, but
Well, Doc Rivers is having a hard time over there right now, and he's not pushing any of the right buttons for whatever reason. But like I said, it all seems to come together when they see that Knicks jersey. We get their best shot.
yeah.
That's true, John. We did blow a lead in the fourth quarter against OKC. You're right, which is rare because I think we're like 36-2 when we have the lead going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I do think Precious looks outmatched. Just he's a 4, and there's plenty of minutes at the 4. Well, I guess if you're playing hard at the 4, and then you're also playing
OG probably will get some minutes.
OG is at the 4.
I don't think we're going to see OG at the 4 though, because I think they're going to try and keep him at the 3 just because of I think they think it'll be easier on his elbow. Because I don't think we saw OG at the 4 against Chicago. If I recall, we saw. At least I don't remember. Do you guys remember OG playing the 4 in the Bulls game?
You mean defensively?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't recall.
I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of OG at the 4 with that elbow kind of being bulky. I think they're going to try and keep him on the perimeter as much as humanly possible, and I think that's smart.
But he's not a bruiser anyway.
No, he's not. But especially, I'm just saying, I think you're going to see Hart, Precious, Bogey pretty much as your 4 rotation. I think you'll see a lot more of OG guarding the perimeter.
Yeah. Yeah, we might have to go to Sims because Precious, when he plays that center position, he does look overmatched.
He sure did against Chicago. I know that. Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah. I think when he has to, play out on the perimeter, that helps us, like a stretch 4. That helps us. Even some stretch 5s, that'll help us. But those bruising, first of all, you can't even see him behind. What was
Boots just swallowed him alive?
Yeah, you couldn't even see him.
Drummond too.
Yeah, Drummond too. Exactly. Yeah.
And they had them at the same time. It felt like they went big and just clobbering us on the glass. I think they had 6 offensive rebounds in the fourth.
He does look lost. Yeah, the pumpkin. I mean, the clock is struck 12, and he's back to being a pumpkin.
he left the shoe behind.
Yeah.
The big sneeze is.
Yeah. But he's just not. He's mostly a defensive player, and if you're not getting that from him, then
yeah.
And his real advantage is his switchability at the 4 spot. Like he's really good at guarding the pick and roll, switching guard to big and those sorts of things. So, but when you're tasking him, he's not a rim protector in any form, shape, or fashion. Right. So if you're hoping to get that from him, you're not. And we need him to rebound when he's out there. He's got to. If he's not rebounding and playing that switchable defense, he's not really playable. And we have enough guys who are playing not really playable right now as it is, like Alec Burks, for example. Bojan Bogdanovic, for another example.
Yeah. But this is the thing, and shout out to Sherwin. He made a comment earlier about Bogdanovic's defense. Tibbs has to figure it out. You got Precious, you got Sims, you got Hart, you got a little bit of Mitch. You got Hart. There isn't a lineup, McBride. There isn't a lineup you can put out there where Bogey can get more minutes. I mean, the point Sherwin was saying was, he kills us on defensively. Salute Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast.
Hey.
You guys got to join us one day.
Amen.
Yes. Sorry, what's going on in Washington, though. So how can one player kill your defense. I get it. I'm not listen. He's not a great defensive player. Don't get me wrong. But killing the defense, then you ain't got him in there with the right players. I feel like.
What's crazy is I kind of feel like Bogey tries defensively.
No, he
like it's kind of crazy. It
I'm
reminds
trying
me
to
of
lose
Fournier.
weight though.
He's
I
just
mean, you
he's
got
slow. He's slow.
the results are not there though. But
He's slow. You can't help
He's
it.
slow.
He's slow-footed.
I think if you had him in a lineup again, OG just got back, so I think if you put him in a lineup with maybe OG and Hart, or OG and Mitch, if he's playing well, or I think works. Like I think you can see results then. But the other thing is we need some consistency with the shooting. Like his 3-point percentage has been in the toilet since he's been in New York.
Yeah, but I think you just got to let him rock. I just think you just have to say, listen, he's going to get this many minutes, whether he's shooting well or not.
Tip's trying to win games, though. He's not going to just leave him out there.
But he's trying to win games, but we need scoring. If you put him out there with the proper lineups, I think it could work. I don't know if it could be Hart, OG, and Mitch though, because Hart is not.
I'm not saying all three of them. I'm just saying.
Oh, I see. Okay.
If you know what I'm saying. In other words, you have two of those guys out there with them. I think that provides enough protection. You know what I mean? I mean, especially like DiVincenzo out there too, or another good, or Deuce and DiVincenzo, like in the backcourt. In other words, where you're not having. I don't know if. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not sure how much I like Bogey Brunson lineups, just because you're kind of having to protect two of them. And I think the more guys you're having to protect, the more difficult it is. But I mean, we did it with Randle and Brunson at times, so we should be able to. It should work.
Yeah. Just give him enough time to get him, to get his rhythm. But Paris Duggar does make a good point. The numbers are one thing, the turnovers are another. And it's true. It's like there's always a turnover where he's just falling down and turning the ball over. Like, what happened?
It's just a senior moment. It's just like, oh, what's going on?
John 17, I think he's 35% from three as a Knick, which is low for him, but pretty average for a regular player. I think the average might be maybe 36, 37. I don't know what the average.
We need him to be better than average. Like we traded for him because he was a guy who could shoot it at 40, or 39, 38 at the very least. If you're only getting 35, that's a big drop off.
Yeah.
But
I also think he's playing out of his role is different. He's not just camping out in the corner waiting for a pass to,
correct.
To shoot a three.
Absolutely. But he's also, he's had, a month worth of games to kind of figure it out too. And it's been so inconsistent. It's just really frustrating. I'm not saying it's his fault. It's just very frustrating.
But the lineups haven't been consistent either.
Right.
In terms of him figuring out, the lineups haven't been consistent. OG.
Yeah, I think we're going to need Bogey. We're going to need Bogey contributions come the postseason, and I think we'll get him. He's definitely a guy I think we're going to have to rely on without Randle. We need some scoring in the second unit, and he's our best option in my opinion.
Yeah. Hart is not a scorer. He can get points, don't get me wrong, but I don't consider him a scorer. Mitch is not. Maybe McBride now if he's back in the second unit.
Funny enough, though, we haven't really seen the scoring outburst from McBride when he's in the second unit. Most of his best scoring has kind of been when he's playing with the first unit and alongside Brunson.
Well, let's see if he can adjust.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know he didn't start yesterday, but to your point, Hart was ejected, so he saw a lot of time with the starting unit. All right. Anything else before we?
Just one more thing from me. I just wanted to say thank you to the chat for spending your Saturday with us. We sure appreciate you. Thanks to Ajay. It's always a pleasure, my friend. I missed you a bunch. It's so good to be in the same studio with you. And Queen, the hostess with the mostest. Y'all don't even know how much work she puts. This is a labor of love. She does this because she loves you guys and she loves the Knicks and she loves the opportunity to talk about this team that we all love so much. And it's really awesome to get to be a part of this. It's really fun, and it's something that I look forward to every time I get the opportunity. So thank you for the opportunity to the chat, and obviously to you, Queen, because I would still be just watching if it wasn't for you. So I appreciate it very much.
Well, I mean, listen, you delivered when you came on the show, so that helps. You've definitely leveled up the show since you've been a regular on the panel. So that helps. That helps to grow the channel. So I'm not going to minimize your part. And when you're not here, you're missed.
Absolutely.
I miss it like crazy. It's like my arm's missing when I don't get to be here. I'll just be honest. I love it so much. It's such a pleasure to this community is amazing. And the NBK network in particular is bar none the best YouTube stuff we've got out here with all the shows and all of the talent that Sim has found. Is really incredible.
Really
Shout out to Simeon Russell, MBK.
Amen.
And Geoff mentioned all this love the Queen have for you all and for the Knicks. You can show a little love back by buying her a cup of coffee.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
I know this is an older crowd, so you got to take out your phone, go to your camera app, put the camera up against this QR code with the little cup of coffee right there in yellow. And then you're going to get a little website that's going to come up. Hit that website, tap it with your finger.
Queen, let's make it real easy for them. Listen, just call your grandkids. Tell your grandkids, listen, I want to buy her a cup of coffee. Here, do
it. Hey, we got 89-year-olds out there. You got to be nice out there.
Listen, and if I get a chance, I'll put it on Twitter. All of the coffees that you guys have brought me up until my time in Miami paid for my birthday dinner. So I appreciate you guys. I ate at a Cuban restaurant.
Nice.
Super nice. You see that little
thumbs up? Yeah, that was good.
I don't know. It just randomly pops up. I don't know what that's about. I'll be on calls with clients. It's so embarrassing. It'll just pop. It'll just pop up. But I appreciate you guys. I had me a nice fried red snapper with
that sounds good.
Pepper sauce. So I appreciate you guys.
Real good.
Yeah, it was. It was. Paris Doug, I appreciate you for the super chat. Great job /show. Appreciate
Paris you. Always rocking with us.
Yeah, definitely. Made 2 years. March 22nd or March 23rd in Paris Duggar. You're a big part of the channel growing. So I appreciate you. Been here from the beginning, following me from the Queen's Court, which I'm still doing, by the way. Mondays on the Nothing But Knicks channel. I'll be there this coming Monday at 8:30. There was a glitch, and so there was no show actually last Monday. Lady and the Chef was supposed to do that show, and to no fault of her own, things kind of fell through the cracks, but she'll be there Monday. Geoff will be there Monday. Ajay, it depends. He'll grace us with his presence if he can.
If he doesn't have a black tie affair to go to,
not on Monday.
Fancy one.
Not on Monday.
I'm surprised he's here today. Tonight,
the sacrifice. I'd rather be here, man. Most of the time, hanging out with you guys in the chat and talking Knicks. So, yeah,
for sure. All right, we out of here. Monday, right. Queen's Court, and and Wednesday or Saturday on this channel. Keep those
Keep your notification button live so you don't miss it.
Definitely. Until next time, fam.
Peace.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the Queen, she on live. Right now, please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, New York. Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, Step from the NBK. Born and raised up NBK. Hey, hey, real lady where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.